Getting ready for bed at a regular time is one of the most important habits you can learn.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Oh, Lori, scared another one away.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
We are counselors at Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. There is a swarm of bears.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
It's showtime.
Hello, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Scream Stream. Now, I'm sorry I'm a bit late, guys. The movie ran over a lot longer than I remember it being, but we're finally talking about it. I know I made mention of it since January earlier this year, but we're finally talking about Bad Candy, which came out in 2021. This movie... I love this movie. Even though it is B-rated slop. It literally is. B-rated slop all over the place. Like, it's just delicious, though. It's just fine B-rated junk I fucking love. Bad Candy was a movie I also found back last year during October. Because I like to do this thing in October where I try to find the best horror movie ever. Because I noticed in October, for some reasons, like Hulu, Netflix, like all the fucking shows decide that October is the month that they want to drop every single fucking horror thing they can possibly give out. Which, I mean, I'm not complaining. I love that. I do. I simply love that. But it's the fact that you could do that for the rest of the year, guys. I wouldn't be mad, but still, every month they do this shit. So every month I scour the web, I dig through like the cheesy movies, the B-rated movies, the boring movies. Like I go through it all. Like I even go down the rabbit hole of YouTube. That's where I found, funny enough, movies such as Grave Encounters and what was some other ones? The LLC Hell House franchise. I found them as well on 3 a.m. on YouTube. Fun fact: Halloween, look in October. Oh shit, sorry guys. So yeah, if y'all are listening to this and not watching this live on stream, at the corner of my camera I saw something moving and I was looking like, what the fuck is that? It's my dog. It's my damn dog scratching. So I can only see like the top of her back end, so all you see is just nothing but like black fur. And I didn't realize she was over there, so that I'm sorry guys, that startled the shit out of me. I don't know if y'all saw it on my face. But where was I? But oh yeah, so in October, you know, I scoured the internet, all this shit, dive deep at 3 a.m. on YouTube and find a whole bunch of movies. And this one was one of the ones I found that I quite enjoyed very much. I think I watched it the same day I shit you not, this movie was called Killer Sofa. I kind of want to talk about that movie because it's so bad. Like, it's bad. Like, but it's got a stupid fucking premise, too. But oh my god, like, so bad is good to me. And I might talk about that. I really do. But right now, let's talk about Bad Candy. Like I said, it came out in 2021. It's an anthology film. How many stories did it have in it? Because some of them range from, like, 10 minutes to about 25, depending on which story. You see, we got the one, see, 2, 3, 4. I think it's roughly about 5 or 6 stories. Yeah, 5 or 6 stories told during the course of the entire movie. One of the big main stories, though, that we get told near the end is like the overarching narrative which is just basically, he's a radio DJ named Chili Billy, who is celebrating Halloween, and he is telling countless stories throughout the night on his radio talk show. And I'm assuming the way everything's being told is that he's either telling the stories we are watching, or he's telling his own version, we're watching another version. Like, it's kind of a little bit weird how they film it, but again, they're trying to go for that anthology feel and shit. And I'm gonna be honest, you don't really feel a lot of the anthology-ness to it until roughly about, I don't know, I want to say about 20-25 minutes into it, which ain't bad. It ain't bad at all, because it's got a pretty, decent opening and everything. But the movie was directed by Scott B. Hansen and Desiree Connet, C-O-N-N-E-T-T. Again, guys, dyslexic as fuck, so I suck at reading bullshit. But they're fantastic directors. I didn't find much on them. Hell, I really couldn't find much on the fucking Wikipedia page or anything about this movie. Hell, I even went back to Amazon where I originally watched it, and it's not even there anymore. It's not. It's on, I had to watch it on Tubi. But this was a fun film, and I don't know why more people aren't fighting for it. But there are two names that you should recognize off the bat. Some of the other actors, not so much. The little indie guys, I didn't find much filmography on them or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, they're good, because unfortunately it wasn't the whole cast either when I was looking this up. I didn't find the whole cast. But got a couple of the guy characters here. Michael Milligan, who plays Chuck. Derek Russo, who plays Vince, Kevin Wayne, who plays Greg, Kenneth, who plays Daryl. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It's literally spelled, I shit you not, Trujilio. And I feel like I'm going to say that hella fucking wrong. And I don't want to disrespect this man this way. Because Daryl was a fun character, I'm not going to lie. I like Daryl. And then, we had a couple little side actresses and shit who were also in it. Again, I didn't catch their names, but they're not bad actors. They're not bad. Like, the acting in this movie was actually not bad for an anthology film. The lighting was actually really good. That's something I do want to talk about once I get done with the casting list. But the two big names you should recognize right off the bat is the people who play Paul and Billy Chili, who are our favorite radio DJs. Zach Galligan, who plays Paul, in which we should all know Paul from my favorite Christmas horror movie, Gremlins, and Gremlins 2. We talked about him, I think, in the beginning of the year, and also during Christmas when I watched the Gremlins, so it's always good to have him back in front of, basically in front of my face. A little sad, though, he don't get any kind of, like, creature moments. He actually turns out to be kind of an asshole at the end of the movie. But the creme de la creme, the one I recognized right off the fucking bat, like as soon as I saw him, I was like, there's no fucking way they got this man in this movie. Like, there's no fucking way. Because I love this band. I love this. This is not an actor, by the way. This is not an actor. This is actually a singer, a lead singer to a band I fucking adore. And it's Corey Taylor, who is the lead singer to Slipknot. Fuck yes, he's in this movie, and fuck yes, he's boss ass, and fuck yes, spoiler alert, everybody, he lives, okay? He's actually one of the funniest and coolest characters of the whole movie. Not the best, don't get me wrong. There's a guy in one of the stories that straight up just hands down wins the Oscar for me for best actor in this entire movie. But Corey Taylor does an amazing job playing Chili Billy. Very relaxed, cool. He's very witty on his feet and shit. And I feel like it was just him, being very, very himself. But something I wanted to talk about was the lighting. Oh my god. There were moments while I was watching this movie, while looking at the lighting, and it's on point. Like, the richness of the colors. Like, there is a scene or in one of the stories, a little girl's walking up to her house, and her entire driveway or leading up to her doorway in her yard and shit is covered in these bright, vivid lights of pumpkins and shit. And then in the foreground is just this blue, just this beautiful, deep, saturated blue, and it's a beautiful balance. And we've all seen this color scheme. Thank you, Michael Bay, who uses it constantly for every fucking Transformer poster you ever made. But the color palette is really nice, especially during Halloween, because that's just where the story takes place, is actually on Halloween, you know. So the saturation of the colors and the brightness and the vivid of all the colors, not just the reds and the orange and some of the blues, but the greens and some of the more duller rooms like the morgue story we're going to talk about. It's got some very nice lighting. The set design pieces I like the feel of Halloween. It feels like fucking Halloween. Like, everybody's kind of doing their own things. You got the people who are trick-or-treating, the people who are going to parties, the people coming back from parties, because this whole movie takes place over the night. So we get to see everyone kind of doing their own things on Halloween. You know, hell, there's even like this killer fucking concert going on at one point, and it's like, it looks slam. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what is this song either. Some kind of like techno rave song that they keep playing throughout the concert, but it's very catchy. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me want to get up and dance. Just like, it's fucking awesome. But, you know, there's some other cool set pieces. Like, there's this really cool treehouse in the first story that we get to see. That's really nice. And now I will say the big house at the end for me, it's a bit much, okay? It's like supposed to be this huge big ass mansion, but you can clearly tell it's not real. Like, the sky it looks like Jeepers Creepers value when it comes to the sky during this scene. I don't know, they dropped the ball on the budget or something. Now, don't get me wrong, the rest of the movie, when it comes to the CGI, kind of looks bad. I'm not gonna lie. The CGI looks bad. The practical effects, they're a bit hit or miss for me, because it's got that B-rated slop to it. They're kind of cartoonish, because you could rather tell, obviously, that it's like a fucking puppeteer. Especially with, we'll get to the story when we get there, but there's this little creature that comes out, and you can tell it's a fucking puppet. Like, but it's adorable, though. It's fucking adorable. But yeah, I'll have to say the CGI not that great. I don't know, that was just no money in the budget or something, but they did their best. And, you know, it's, again, B-rated movie, you know, so it's not the greatest shit in the world, but what we do get, it's fun. The practical effects are fun. Again, the set pieces are very fun. Like, another good set piece is this fucking, like, this empty field where they have, I'm not going to spoil too much of it till we get to the actual story, but let's just say there's a group of people out there and they're running for their lives, and other people are throwing spears, okay? Like, it's a big fucking, like, crazy story. Like, it really is. But let's go ahead and dive straight on into this fun fest of a movie. So, when it comes to the opening of this movie, I have to say, it really sets the tone for this entire movie. It sets Halloween, because, you know, we're going through the streets of everyone, you know, in their little costumes, getting ready. We get the pumpkins and the lights. You hear people saying trick or treat and passing the candies. But what's going on in the background this entire time is, I guess, like a scene from a movie or something about a woman talking about death with another guy who is explaining, you know, what Halloween is and about celebrating of death and bullshit. And then Chilly Billy comes in and talks about, oh, it's great Halloween, you know, or as I like to call it, All Hallows Evil. I think that's how he says it. I don't know. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. But basically, he sets the setup for the whole stories. He gets everything lined up, saying, we're here, you know, what rocks in the middle of the night. We're going to be telling the stories and be up all night, you know. When we come back, at least we're coming back, you know, it's bullshit like that. You know, typical radio DJ bullshit. And at the same time, we're hearing, you know, Chilly Billy doing his opening and shit. We're looking at this fucking redneck. Like, that's not even stereotyping. Like, he's a fucking redneck. Like, he's plaid shirt, just like ripped up sleeve, the fringes all fucked up. He's drinking beer in a beat up pickup truck that is just like the ugliest shade of blue that looks like it's rusted and lost his coat of paint, then rusted again. Like, he's a fucking redneck. If I ever saw a redneck, he's a fucking redneck. But he's fucking driving, you know, just being an asshole. At the same time, we're seeing a little girl riding her bicycle, heading somewhere, and you're thinking, oh dear God, they're not gonna do this whole thing where he hits her because he's drinking. No, he hits this other guy. Which I find weird because we never make mention of it, like ever, like throughout the rest of the story, unless there's something at the very end of the credits I didn't see. We never hear anything about this guy. We don't know if he's dead, alive, or what, but they straight up have the redneck hit this dude and just keep driving, not even fazed by it. It's some like weird fucking shit. I really wish they would have actually explained that now that I'm thinking about it. Well, we see the little girl, you know, once we get done looking at redneck dude. And she's all dressed up in this cute little witch's costume, and it's so adorable. And she's heading towards somewhere in the woods. We just see her kind of walking through the woods. She's got a little drawing pad, and you see once she gets to this one tree, which is their tree house, which is actually decked out pretty fucking badass. Like there's pumpkins everywhere. There's these gorgeous lights. Like I said, the lighting in this shit's phenomenal, and it feels very warm and inviting, but yet creepy at the same time. I love the set design for this treehouse, but she's going up there to meet her friends. But before she goes up in there, we're looking at a little drawing book, and she's got a picture of this, I shit you not, a demon clown. It's like a clown that looks like a demon, or a demon that looks like a clown. I don't really know. That's like the best way I could describe it. But yeah, a demon clown. And she goes inside, and we get kind of a small introduction. Like these kids aren't really important to the story. It's just her. I think her name was Sarah, but she's the more important one of the group. We're going to mainly focus on her. But she's meeting her friends, and of course, we're all going around. They're all excited about trick or treating and having a good time. They're all dressed up, and while they're getting ready, she starts drawing. But as she's drawing, weird shit starts happening. Like the lights start flickering, her hand starts going like this weird fucking like weird motion and shit. And her friend grabs the pencil and goes, stop. We're not doing this again. Not this year. No, you remember what happened last year. And we're sat there wondering, what the fuck happened last year? Because you're not going to believe what the hell happens this year. You're not going to believe what the fuck happens this year. But yeah, they stop her from drawing. But it also gives you kind of a foreshadowing of what the rest of this particular story is going to be. But why she, gets kind of scolded by her friend about drawing and shit. Some little asshat, and yes, I call him an asshat, because this little asshat's a little asshat. And I'll say asshat as many times as I want, because that's what he is. A fucking asshat. But asshat little kid shows up, and he starts smashing the pumpkins. Of course, all the kids run out there, and they're like, hey, bro, bat the fuck off our pumpkins. I just carved those. And while this is happening, a little snot-nosed asshat brat is smashing pumpkins and giggling his ass off. We hear this strange noise. Now, we'll hear this noise throughout the rest of the movie. Like this creepy, like, high-pitched cricket noise, but it's not crickets, but it's like also speed up by like 10,000. It's very weird, very off-putting. But every time we hear that noise, that means the demon clown, which we saw in the drawing, is there. And I'm assuming she already drew when we first showed up. So was that the moment? I'm trying to figure out, was that the moment when he got summoned, was because she got angry, or was he already there? Because again, we made a mention about what happened last year. We don't know what the fuck happened last year, and they never talk about it. So it gets me thinking, what's the clown from last year? I don't know. That's a good question. If I ever get to ask the directors, I will find out for you guys. But after that, we see the creepy little clown, demon dude just standing there, just looking at things. He's got little claws and everything. A little asshat kid runs off, and everybody gets ready to go. And as they're walking out, Sarah's phone starts ringing, and it's fucking 10 missed calls from her dad. And she's like, guys, I gotta go. Some bullshit's going on. And they're like, are you sure? Like, do you have to go? And she's like, no, I got to. Maybe if I go over there and tell him I'm all right and calm him down, I'll meet up with you guys. And they're like, all right, bet. And they split off. And I'm just thinking, Man, that gotta suck, man. You're all dressed up, ready to go. You're at your party with your friends. You're about to go, and the fucking asshole dad calls you back. What an asshole. So speaking of assholes, the little asshat from earlier that we were talking about, we focus on him for about 5 minutes. And this is the greatest 5 minutes of my life. Because, I'm gonna be honest, I have seen so many horror movies do this shit. Not this particular thing, but the shit where we have a little snot-nosed asshole kid, and we all seen them in horror movies, a little assholes who are smashing the pumpkins, you know, you see the sign, please take one, and they're fucking, like, dumping the bucket in their bag and shit. Like, it's just some horrible, like, the TPing the trees for no reason, bullying people. We all know little assholes like this. But in every horror movie we see them, and the worst that happens is they get scared. Ooh, big deal, you know, a little startled. They'll learn their lesson. They'll never do that shit again. Hopefully by the end of the movie they learned their lesson. But you know what? We'll never know because the movie ended. But this movie decides to kick it up a notch. This movie goes, you see a little asshole kid we're all tired of? Yeah, he's gonna get it. So little asshole kid, of course being a little asshole, is smashing pumpkins, and he goes up to this house, and it literally has a sign that says, please take one, or else, ... And he's just like, man, fuck this shit, you know, I'm gonna take what I want. And the little fucker starts going through the bag, and, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't want this, I don't want that, and then dumping the rest all over himself, the bag, and the floor, and he starts kicking shit and knocks the sign. Like, the kid's being an extra asshole. Like, I don't know if mommy didn't give him enough hugs in his life, if daddy just didn't beat him enough in life. I don't know. But the point is, this kid's got an attitude check, or an attitude problem, and it needs to be checked hard. And this is where the little clown shows up at. So, little asshole kid, after doing all that stupid ass shit, goes in the back. Now I'm assuming what they had going on in the bag, and I've done this growing up and shit. I've been part of little haunted houses, but it's basically you do like a little small haunted house back outside to the street or some bullshit. It's really fun. I had a good time making those growing up. But he goes in there, and of course this is like filled with fucking clowns, and the kid's like not even fazed by it. He's just like, oh my god, fucking clowns. Look at all these damn clowns. Just so many clowns. So, little asshole kid goes to the back where the biggest clown is at. And this guy, he looks actually pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, he looks pretty badass. He looks like something straight out of, House of a Thousand Corpses, if anybody's seen that movie. But it's in there in the bag. I guess he's got this bowl of candy, and this kid goes to take one, and the clown dude stands up and grabs the kid and scares the shit out of him, so he runs the fuck out of there straight into the arms of the demon clown, who just grabs him and by bad CGI touches his head, or has him by his head, and he's screaming. He's basically sucking the life out of him with his light effect and shit, and eventually he shrinks down into like a voodoo doll, and he holds it in his hand, and he takes it on down. So then we fucking cut away to the clown going, I guess, to his collection. I want to say it's his collection, but he's going to his collection. It's another nice lighting shot with the dark oranges and the blue is vivid blues going on in the background. And he walks into the house, and of course you hear all these horrible screams where people are just like, help, help, please, oh God, you know, and they're like echoing. There's like hundreds of these voices almost. And you can hear the little boy voice too, the little asshat. You hear him too. But as he's taking him up into the house, he puts him down this little altar. We pan out. We just see that this clown has collected, I don't know how many of these motherfuckers, but they're all over the goddamn house. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, no, little asshat kid, I'm basically gonna count him as dead, man. The kid fucking died. Like, he may not be dead yet, but he's a voodoo doll inside of a clown collection house that's not even real. I don't think anybody's gonna find him, and I don't think that spell's ever gonna be broken. Little asshat's dead to me. Thank you, Bad Candy, for finally killing asshole kids. We all thank you for your service. I'm sorry. Again, guys, we've all seen those horror movies where the fucking just jerk waffle kids just gets like a slap on the wrist. That shit always pisses me off. Like, if anyone deserves to be tormented tonight, it's that kid. It's that one. But no. They get a little jump scared and we never see him for the rest of the fucking movie. So then we go back to the fucking drunk redneck motherfucker. And he's picking up the sweet little girl, and it turns out drunk redneck is her daddy. And he's angry at her, and he's like, you're at that fucking treehouse again, I'll burn that bitch down if I hear you going back. Don't ever go back there again. And takes her cell phone. Says, well, what's the fuck I even letting you have this? You're not even answering that shit. And she's just like, but daddy, I want to be with my friends. Let me hang out with them. We're just gonna get candy. And he's just like, nah, fuck that shit. Just being an asshole. Just straight up being a fucking asshole. He hates Halloween. He even says how much he hates Halloween, which is kind of sad because she looks like she loves Halloween. She looks super excited. She's all dressed up. I mean, hell, she even makes mention of that later on and when they get to the house and start arguing. But they end up going back to the house and continue on their arguing. And like I said, she makes a point saying it was her favorite holiday. And I'm assuming it was making mentions of mom. Because they don't really talk about mom, but I'm assuming it's mom. They don't call her mom, but that's what I'm assuming. But yeah, she's just like, it was her favorite holiday. And he slams the door in her face and locks her in her room. And he's just like, not any fucking more. And for some fucked up reason, he's like drinking, right? And God bless her, she's crying. She's fucking crying. He's drinking though. And he just out of the blue, just watching fucking Night of the Living Dead, by the way. Night of the Living fucking Dead's the ending where the main character gets shot and shit. And for some fucked up reason, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. And he stands up, slams his beer on the floor, goes outside, starts kicking all the Halloween decorations and tearing them down. He's fucking just being angry as shit for no goddamn reason. And it ends up, throwing it all in the garbage and eyeballing his daughter the entire time, who's looking at him through the window. And he's just like, yeah, fuck your holiday, man. And she gets so upset, she starts drawing. And we see, this time she gets to actually do her drawing, and you see she's drawing this cute little fairy. And as she's drawing, weird little lights start happening, and little purple glitteries and shit. And when a actual demon fairy comes up out, and it's so cute and shit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it's really fucking cute. Again, bad CGI, because they did the classic woman on a green screen shrunk her down kind of bullshit. And it's rather obvious. But, it's still kind of cute. It looks fun. And then, of course, while she's drawing, she draws this little creature who, how do I describe him? He's like a furry little troll or a furry little gremlin or something. I don't know. He's adorable as fuck, though. I'm not going to lie. He's adorable as fuck. And they're trying to cheer her up, and they're also trying to help her out. So the little fairy goes underneath the door, and she's trying to unlock it. She's having trouble because apparently she does not have the gift of strength for a fucking drawing of a fairy, but here we are. She can't move a fucking lock. And the little creature, he's down there at the bottom just clawing at the door. I mean, at least he's doing something. But Dad ends up hearing this shit, and he comes busting on in. And he's angry. He's just like, oh, look what you done drone now. More demonic shit. Look, your mother would be so fucking proud of you. And he starts attacking these poor little creatures. The little furry troll. Yeah, dead. He kills them. Dead. I'm talking about stomps on them and everything. It's horrible. It was horrible. I was just like, oh, little guy didn't do anything wrong. And then he fucking squishes the fairy against the wall and she bleeds neon pink blood. I'm not even joking about that. I don't know if it's glittery or not, but it was, no, it's neon purple. I'm sorry, neon purple. Because it looked really cool against the lighting in the background. Because they try to give it like a black light glowy effect. Kind of pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. But while he's doing all this, she starts drawing again, and it's her fucking mom. She somehow went from drawing cartoon stick figures of a fucking, fairy and like monsters and shit, to drawing actual life realism of her mother, who she only has one picture of from afar. She drew that within like 5 minutes. Like, that's talent right there. A woman needs to go to art school. That's very talented. I'm not even lying. That's very fucking talented. She's able to draw all that within 5 minutes. Talent. But she draws it though, and the fucking mom demon thing comes out and starts wrecking shit in the house. A fucking, it's like a tornado in the house is going on. Shit's flying everywhere. Winds are going. Dad's flying, doing that flying flea shit where he's like, ah, and then like hits the wall and then rolls over and then flips over a piece of furniture and shit. Y'all seen this shit. But, he stands up and mom, of course, starts screaming at him, and blood starts oozing out of his mouth and eyes and being absorbed by the mom drawing. I swear to God, guys, all this is in the movie. This ain't an acid trip. And while the blood's being trained up, eventually, everything calms down. His body hits the floor. His eyes and mouth are just sizzling. Just being all dramatic and shit. And she ends up, kind of smiling. She grabs her bucket and she proceeds to walk out and head towards her friend's house. And again, guys, like I said, cheesy effects. So when that blood gooey shit start coming out, it's goofy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that shit always threw me off. But that one, is roughly about maybe 10... No, not 10 minutes. About roughly 20, 25 minutes or so. I think the whole opening right there was 20 minutes. But after that, she then proceeds to go outside, and outside is all this candy for her and a little note with her name on it. And so she, grabs and opens it. She starts smiling and shit. And of course, we see the demon watching her from afar. He doesn't do anything to her. He's just watching her from afar, and he dips the fuck out. And then we have this kick-ass title card screen where we have bad candy and neon fucking lights. Like, it's grand. It's fucking grand. I love it. So then we go back to Chilly Billy, who's talking about the night. He's just like, it's not always the young ones being naughty. Ain't that right, Paul? And Paul's just like, nope, we got some grown-ups who never learn until they did. This rolls us into the next story. Now, this was a little short. Ain't that long. Roughly about maybe 5-8 minutes tops. Could be 10. 5 to 10 minutes. Let's go with that. But this one starts off with an old man. He's in a pumpkin t-shirt, and he's sitting in his kitchen. He's getting this candy. And you're thinking, oh, man, this is really nice. He's getting some candy set up for the kids. That's so sweet. And then you realize, oh, he's spiking the candy. And not the good, fun spiking, like the ones the PTA moms on Facebook try to warn us about, the THC gummies and shit. Like, motherfuckers are just passing that out on Halloween. Like, first of all, do you know how expensive THC gummies are? They ain't just passing that shit out to go for trick-or-treaters, man. Second of all, nobody in their right fucking mind would give kids THC gummies. Because that's a waste of a good gummy. The kids would just eat it all and just go into gummy coma. They wouldn't even get to enjoy the high. I'm just saying. But he's spiking the candy with like razor blades and poison, I saw fingernail polish and alcohol and 99% proof and shit like that. But asshole's getting the fucking candy spiked up and he hears a knock at the door. So he goes to investigate, and there's a cute little girl. I'm talking about adorable. She's a little Red Riding Hood. She's got a little cape on and shit. She's adorable as fuck. And the guy's trying to be nice to her. He's like, oh, well, aren't you cute, sweetie? Like, that's adorable. But you and your mom like a cupcake? Well, yeah, I'm sure my mom won't. Well, let me go get you one. He goes to give her a cupcake. Gives her a candy, and she thanks him. And she's also cheerful and shit. He's like, bye, bye. And closes the door, and we watch her. And my heart dropped. My heart fucking dropped. Because I was like, all right, we killed that asshole kid earlier in the movie. Are we going to kill this nice kid now? But she's, walk with a cupcake. She's doing her thing. She trips, and the cupcake falls, and the clown, or the demon clown from earlier, sees this, and she gets spooked off, so she runs off, and he steps on the cupcake, and then proceeds to go to the door. Well, the old man's sitting inside, hears that knock once more, so he goes to investigate, and they ain't nothing there but a little toy jack-in-the-box. So he picks it up, he starts cranking it. It takes a minute to get to the song. I'm not gonna lie, I was more anticipating it just to pop up, but no, it took a minute just to get to the Jack-in-the-Box theme song. So while he's cranking it, he hears another fucking knock. So he goes to investigate, and there's the fucking demon clown at the door, playing goddamn peekaboo with him. I like this guy, okay? Usually, I'm not a big fan of fucking monsters playing peekaboo like this. Like, okay, let me phrase this. I don't like stupid creatures doing peekaboo like this. This guy, on the other hand, I like this demon clown. He's actually pretty cool. I rank him up there with fucking Art the Clown. Granted, Art's more gruesome because Art's art. But, Demon Clown, he's pretty good. I like him. I think they actually call him Bad Candy in the title. Or in his credit. I think he's actually called Bad Candy. I don't know. Probably should have looked that up, to be honest. But anyway, so why the little guy is playing peekaboo though? Oh, takes me back to my thought I was really going to say. So let me give you an example of why I don't care much for peekaboo monsters. Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Yeah. If you don't know that fantastic, lovely movie, and there's a scene where fucking Creeper is breaking through the door, and he basically plays peekaboo for a minute, and it's so stupid. And he waves at her too, by the way. He fucking waves at her like a dumbass. It ain't cool. It ain't intimidating. This demon clown, though, that's very creepy. And like I said, when a creepy demon monster creature does this, it's creepy. It's fucking creepy. Because it's just like, oh my god, you're fucking playing with your food. You're having a little too much fun here, sir. Stop. Get some help. But when a stupid creature does it, it just makes me look at you and go, oh my god, dude, you're a fucking fool. You're a fucking fool. Like, I'm not scared by you. I'm not intimidated by you. You're just fucking stupid. You look even stupider doing that shit to me. What am I, a 5-year-old? This is why, if you're gonna haunt me as a demon, pick something scary, man. Pick something scary. Don't just come at me doing some stupid shit now. I will laugh at you until you go back to hell. But, like I said, he opens the door. Demon clown little dude is doing fucking peekaboo. And he's just like, aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating? And then, he doesn't say anything. And then he slowly kind of takes his hand, or his little claw finger, actually, and he taps the box, right? He just taps the box. And as he taps the box, and the old man's going off at him, you hear Jack-in-the-Box finish the song, and it pops up, and something sprays him in the face. Now, I don't know exactly what sprays him in the fucking face, to be perfectly honest. Because at first it seems like it hurts him because he's screaming. I don't know if he's screaming because it just scared him or he's screaming because it hurts. But he gets done, and he goes to wash his face, and he's just like, it doesn't burn. What the fuck you do to me, you son of a bitch? And the demon clown's already come in. He picked up the toy box. And he's walking over to him with a little Jack-in-the-Box. And he's being super fucking creepy about it, by the way. I'm not even gonna lie, just super fucking creepy. Just ever so slowly. Just holding it with 2 hands, by the way. A Jack-in-the-Box. Just holding it with 2 hands. Just, And as he's doing that, old man eventually has a fucking enough. So old man grabs a shotty off the, above the fireplace, because that's a great place to keep your shotty. And he proceeds to open fire on the demon clown. And he did 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5. 5 whole shots still didn't take the demon clown down. Demon clown eventually has enough of his bullshit and forces him to sit down and then grab a razor blade and basically eat it. He basically eats it. And it's not a bad effect, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, it's just more of the, like, we don't get to see the razor, like, stick out of his throat or anything like that while he's trying to swallow it. We just see the typical, blood just coming out the mouth, just, while he's trying to chew it, which, by the way, why would you try to chew a razor blade? Like, first of all, why would you even want to eat a razor blade? But if you're going to eat a razor blade, why chew it? Why fucking chew it? That's my thing. Why fucking chew it? But we then cut back to Billy Chili, and he's telling the story. Some say the locals never heard from him again. Others say he retired peacefully in another place. See, this is what I mean by the anthology stories. It's either we're either hearing or watching his version of the story as he's telling it, or we're watching events of the nights unfold that are based on these stories he's telling. One of the two. I want to go with the second option, because of the fact that the end of the movie, we get like a roundabout of how everybody survived at the end of the night, if that makes any sense. But, Billy says, they never heard from him again. But this is also a reminder, guys, to always check your chocolates, because you never know what tricks are in your treats. And he looks up at Paul, and they're giggling their ass off. And he goes, Paul, you like clowns? Huh, fuck no, I hate them. That sucks. And then when he starts playing some killer music. And then we cut to, this rock concert that's going on, not really rock concert, but more like an underground rave concert going on. But I'm going to say these next two stories, they didn't really stand on top of me. Like, I like the opening story. The opening story is fucking fun. The old man story, that one's fun too. For two different reasons. The opening sets the tone for the rest of how wacky this fucking movie's gonna get. The movie gets really fucking crazy with some of the plot lines in their anthology series. But I like that because it pushes the boundaries of what a typical horror anthology is. We don't just have a serial killer walking around. Like, it's literally like a y'all ever seen the movie the VHS? Or VHS 2 or whatever, all those, how like some of the moments in the movie, it makes you think one thing's happening and then suddenly it's some kind of bat creature siren coming out of nowhere and taking your ass into the sky. Yeah, it's shit like that, man. Like, it's just shit you don't see. It's just shit you don't see coming. That's what makes this movie so much fun. But, that sets up the rest of the movie. And then you got the second story with the old man, which is just a classic story retold. The whole, hey, watch your candy because it could have fucking razor blades in it. And when there's an old man putting up razor blades, and this is his justice. This is his fucking karma. This is karma. This is karma for you. And the justice is, he dies by eating an old razor blade. It would have been even funnier if it made him eat one of the candy that had the razor blades in it. That would have been better, man. That would have been fucking better. But these next two stories, they're a little shorter. And I'm going to be honest, one of them gets very fucking weird. I'm talking about, I'm not sure what she's on, because she's on something. I'm not even going to lie. She's on something. Some kind of drug. I don't know. I'm going to say LSD. I'm not even going to lie, it looks like LSD, and some of the effects they were trying to give off is what people think LSD is. As somebody who has taken LSD, yeah, not even close, my dude, not even close. But, I'm just saying, I'm assuming that's what she takes. But we'll get there when we get there. But first we gotta meet the guy that gives her the drugs. But these next two stories take place at this concert, and they end up moving, but they're very short. So we're at the concert, and everybody's having a good time. They're in their costumes, and we're focusing on this one guy who's wearing this leather jacket, and he's walking around, meeting people, handing out money and drugs and shit. Now, I'm talking about, like, he's handing them out. Like, he ends up, like, at one point, running into these two girls, and going, no, hang on. Let me phrase that. They run into him. And he goes, oh, well, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run into you. And they're being like little snooty bitches. Like, yeah, you totally ran into us, dude. Like, bitch, I will slap those Playboy bunnies right off your fucking face. I ain't not even gonna lie. But he's cooler about it, and he gives them drugs. He literally pulls out a little bag, and he's like, hey, I got what you want. But we're focusing on him, and while he's going through the party and everything, he's going to the bathroom. We run into the character for our next story. She's in a little nursing costume, and she's down and shit, and he ends up giving her something and saying, the first one's on the house, take 2, call me in the morning, you know, making a joke and shit because she's wearing a nurse's outfit. And he walks off, and after he leaves and shit, he's in the car where he's listening to Chili Billy, who's doing the opening monologue from earlier in the movie, and I think he's smoking weed. I think he's just smoking weed, but yeah, he takes he smokes some weed and he ends up driving. And this was a little weird. I don't know if it was just something he just kind of, I guess, chopped up to being a hallucinant or something. But as he's driving, at one point, you literally see the fucking demon clown in the middle of the road holding a sign that says, "Play with me?" ? There is no, like, focus on it. There's no, like, the guy questioning if he saw it. No, the guy's not even looking in the rear view mirror to be like, hey, did I just see a fucking clown sitting in the middle of the road? No, nothing. He's not even fazed by this shit. But he's just fucking driving. And we see that shit. I'm just like, are we going to go back and talk about that? No? Okay, well, I guess we keep going with this movie. So he ends up going to this convenience store, which we'll come back to this convenience store too. Like, this is another thing we'll come back to. And while he's at this convenience store, there's these fucking hookers out there. Now, I love these hookers because they're fucking idiots. They're fucking idiots. But we come back to these hookers several times throughout the movie as well. But while he's up there, you know, this hooker tries to pick him up. He rejects her. I think the line was, rough night. I can say the same to you. And this is why you're not my boyfriend. And walks off like, bitch. You think you're good enough to be my girlfriend? Whatever. But he ends up going to this bathroom. And this bathroom, I don't know who designed this bathroom per se, but I want to know, was New York your inspiration, my dude? Was New York your inspiration? It's either New York or Chicago. Because this looks horrible. This bathroom has got graffiti everywhere. I'm talking about dicks, pussy, fucking breasts, just fuck me, I love murder, fucking 1-800 numbers, text for a good time, just like fucking glory holes. Like, it's fucking graffiti everywhere. Like, you ever seen the movie Candyman? Yeah, remember that bathroom that she ends up going to before she meets not the cool Tony Todd Candyman, but the guy claiming to be Candyman. He hits her upside the head with a hook. You know that bathroom? Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, except better lighting. Which, I don't know if that's a plus or a minus, to be able to walk into this bathroom and go, no, just no. Like, seriously, that would have been my first thing. If I had to take a piss, that badly, and I walked into that bathroom, I'd rather pee on myself. I'd rather just, well, it looks like I'm changing my pants when I get home. Not today, buddy, not today. Because it looks like shit goes down in that bathroom. But homie goes in. And while he's on the toilet, which I don't even know why he's taking a shit on this toilet. I feel like STDs are just crawling up and down this toilet. But he's on the toilet and he sees one of those, text this for a good time, 1-800 period or something like that. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll fucking do it. And he fucking does it, right? Tring, a little phone, picture goes off and he looks at it, and it's a picture of him taking a shit. Like, it's just his feet underneath the stall. So homie gets mad and goes, oh, dude, what the fuck? Stands up. Like, first of all, who the fuck texts a number off a bathroom wall and then gets upset when they text back? Especially text back with that. I'm just saying. You knew what you were signing up for, bro. It's a fucking number on the bathroom stall that looks like it's straight out of fucking Candyman. No. But he gets out of the bathroom stall and there's this big black guy standing there and he's got blood coming out of his throat and he's got blood coming out of his mouth and he's like, and the dude's like, hey man, was that you taking pictures of me? You alright? Man's got blood coming out of his throat and you're gonna sit there and go, are you alright? I can't at least say the lights in this bathroom should guarantee the fact that you can see there's blood coming out of his throat. But you know what? Fuck me, right? So, when that happens, the dude ends up falling down, and right behind him is a guy in the devil mask. Now, it's not our demon clown guy. It's not him. No siree. It's some dude in the devil mask, which we will see later. But he ends up chasing the guy into the bathroom stall, and he starts begging for his life. Just, oh, please, no, take my money, take all my money here, take my phone, don't, I don't want to die. And he's just begging not to fucking die, just doesn't want to die. And then he calls him a fucking freak. He's just like, get away from me, you fucking freak. And that apparently hurt his feelings, because as soon as that happened, the devil man just stops and then walks away. So this idiot thinks, okay, clearly, I didn't hear a door close or anything, but clearly this man walks away, so he starts looking around. He sees the cell phone, so of course he reaches for it, and as he reaches for it, well, something I called happening 5 minutes in advance ends up happening. He gets cut with a knife by a devil man. He jerks back, continues to crying and begging and pleading, and then the next greatest thing happened. Dumbass sticks his head against the bathroom door and then acts surprised when the devil man stabs him through it. Like, I'm sorry, he didn't even do it in the middle, where it's one of those, unless you got Michael Myers strength, there's no way you're getting that knife through that door. But no, he went through the cracks, the fucking cracks where you close the door and shit. He went there and stuck his head bro, be smarter. But you are a drug dealer, so I'm sure you get high on your own supplies. But homie gets stabbed, and it's actually kind of pretty cool. Kind of does this little squirting thing, and it's fun. It's just a little fun thing. But it's squirting and shit, blood's coming out. He's got blood in his eyes, and he's all... And then we get a little bit of an overkill, but I like this. He ends up, Devil Man ends up coming in, grabbing him with the back of his head, and proceeds to slam his face into the toilet until it fucking breaks. I'm talking about breaks the toilet and all. And, he writes, I love murder, with a little arrow, I guess, pointing to the dead corpse, and runs the hell off. And we got, Chili, and then we cut back to Chili Billy, who's back on the radio, and he's just like, we're still here live, guys, waiting to hear from y'all, to hear those spooky calls, those deepest fears, anything y'all can give, I can spice it up and work with it. And then we go back to the rock concert, the techno rave concert, whatever the hell is going on. We're back to there, though, and we're with our beautiful young woman who we met in the bathroom when he handed her the drugs, and this poor girl, she's having a shit fucking night. This one, I feel bad for her because of the fact that this dude was an asshole and she just got fucked up and it fucked her up. But she gets a text from a guy, because we get some of the texting texts at some point throughout the movie from other people's phones and shit. We get to see who they're texting and shit. But we get this text thing from her that says, you're creepy, Abby, and boring. Lose my number. And she's very distraught about that. Just, okay. Hey, Batman, what's up? Welcome to the podcast, man. Welcome to the podcast. You came just in time. I just got started on the next story on this anthology series, or the anthology movie I'm talking about. But she's all down and upset about herself, and she ends up talking to her girlfriend, and they're just like, hey, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? What's happening? She's like, oh, he never showed up. He's a dick. Doesn't matter. I'm going to work. And they're trying to cheer her up, man. They're trying to cheer her up. But, I mean, I'm sorry, that's kind of a dickhead move. I'm not gonna lie, it's a fucking dickhead move to text somebody, you're boring, lose my number. Just like, bitch, I'm gonna be honest, she looked good. She looked very good. I'm doing good, Batman, I'm doing good. But she looked good, though. I'm not gonna lie, she was cute. I'm not much into short hair girls, but she was rocking it. She had that Ruby Rose haircut going on from Orange is the New Black. She looked pretty good. But She ends up having to go to work though because for some reason, I'm gonna say this. She works at the morgue. I'm gonna cut straight to the punchline here. She works at the morgue. She gets a text from somebody saying, there's an emergency. I need you to come in. I can't. I know it's Halloween. I want to know what the emergency is. Because when she gets there, she's the only motherfucker there. She's literally the only motherfucker there. But she ends up going in. And when she ends up getting kind of comfy, she ends up like trying to pick a body out. I guess the autopsy or whatever. I don't know what the hell she's doing there because we don't get to see her work because it gets fucking crazy in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, it gets fucking crazy. She ends up picking a body though. He's already willed out, and while she is checking him out, she ends up taking the drugs that drug dealer gave her earlier in the movie that I was talking about, due to leather jacket and shit. And again, I think it's LSD because it's a little tab. It's just a little tab, and I've only seen those for LSD. Unless there's another drug out there that does that, I don't know. But it looks like LSD. But she ends up taking it, and she switches it down with a bottle of vodka, and she starts talking to the body, and she's just like, I guess, being down on herself, mocking herself, quoting what that asshole said to her over text. Oh, you're boring, Abby. Oh, you're not any fun, Abby. Typical safe Abby. She's like tearing herself down. It's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's very sad. Like, I feel bad for her. But then it gets a little weird. So the LSD or whatever she took starts kicking in, right? And as it kicks in, she starts getting a little handsy with the body. And yes, it's exactly where you think this is going. It is going. She gets a little handsy with the body, and she ends up proceeding to get on top of it and making the body touch her and shit. And she's just like, "Ooh, I'm so hot." She ends up going to town. It's like a whole trippy moment of her just losing it to the song because she's got that same song from the club playing, which I don't know how that's possible, but But while she's in the midst of, I guess, having a good time, the body eventually wakes the fuck up and touches her. Actually, grabs her by her hips or something. It scares her shitless. She falls back, and she can't believe it, but she looks up, and, the body's not doing anything. So as she goes to get up, of course, the body gets up. So she freaks the fuck out. And this is where the acid trip really kicks in. So she starts running, right? And as she's running, we're seeing these strange visuals of her on the ground in a Dutch angle with fucking red lights, her seeing colors everywhere, her in colors. We see fucking her running through the hallway. We see her upside down. We see fucking inside of an eyeball. It's really weird. Some really weird shit. But while she's freaking the fuck out on her LSD, she eventually comes down long enough, and we come back with her, and she's in the freezer with a bunch of other bodies. And for some fucked up, strange reason, all these bodies then proceed to get up and attack her. And while she's being attacked, we see the demon clown that we've been seeing throughout this whole movie. He opens up the freezer door, shakes his little head, kind of waves a little bit, and slams the door. And we're left off on the note of her screaming locked in this fucking freezer. The next time we see her is at the end of the movie. And I can't tell if she's dead or not. But then we go back to Billy Chili, and he iterates, "Oh man, what a dick." When the skeleton, and then he proceeds to talk about continuing on with the stories for the rest of the night, going, when our skeletons are in our closet comes to get us, that is how we know the story time is ending. And then he gets a call from somebody, and the question is, what is your biggest fear? So, Chili Billy, he laughs about that, and he goes, I fear the dark. Which then cuts us to the next story. Now, this one's alright. This story, it's not one of my favorites either. I want to say it's the next story. Yeah, it's the next story that's my favorite. But this one's a nice little, tie-in because we got a couple of the characters from the next story in this one. But we got, I think his name is Daryl. Daryl or Dylan, one of the two. But he's getting dressed up. He's dressed like fucking the classic vampire look of Dracula and shit. He's dressed just like that. He's getting ready. He gets a phone call. And now, I wish I caught this actor's name. I still need to catch this actor. But he is my favorite fucking actor in this whole movie. I don't even know who he is, but this man gives 110% throughout this whole movie. Like, I'm talking about fucking, like... He feels the moment. He feels like a bro. And he feels like somebody I would enjoy having a good drink with. But... ends up getting a face call from him, and he's just like, yo, man, are you still wearing that stupid bat costume? Hey, man, we all agree we're gonna wear costumes every year. You do the same. Yeah, well, I do it for you guys. And then he makes a mention about getting some rabbits. And he's like, yeah, I'll get some rabbits. He's like, all right. Get those rabbits, man. Get those rabbits. You're gay, by the way. And then hangs up the phone. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm just like, bro. Bro is a bro all the way. Just bro is a bro. But we then cut to the main character of this particular short story. His name is Chuck. We got Chuck in here talking to the this girl dressed like a SWAT cop, who we saw in the drug guy's story where he's at the club or the concert or whatever, and he's picking on people, like trying to pick them up and shit. We see this girl at the I guess the drinking area or whatever. We see her though, and she's giggling with her friends and shit, but she makes an appearance here, and Chuck's trying to get laid by her in this closet, and she ain't feeling Chuck. She tells Chuck straight up, just like, bro, I don't like you, okay? I'm only doing this because I need a space away from my girlfriend, and you are just no, this ain't happening. And he's all, like, kind of butthurt about this, but, you know, whatever. And, well, once they step out, of course, she's just like, her fucking friend, she's one of these bitches. Her friend's one of these bitches, where she knows they don't like each other, but she's going to put them in the same room together anyway, just to force them to be in the room together because she likes utter chaos. She's one of those bitches. I could tell that. In the 5 minutes we know her, I can tell. I know bitches like this. I know fucking bitches like this. But, while we go through the concert and everything, we end up wrapping up on... I don't know what time it is at that point. There's not very good about keeping track of time. I just know it's progressing throughout the time. I just know the day, or each story is like an hour or two throughout the rest of Halloween. If that makes any sense. But the party ends up wrapping up. SWAT girl tells her friend bye. She ends up going back to her house. And she sees the girl from earlier in the movie with the drug guy who he ran into and gave him the free drugs. He sees her, and she's puking her guts out. It looks like chocolate. Like, I shit you not, it looks like fucking chocolate. And while she's puking her fucking guts out, she thinks SWAT girl is a cop. And SWAT girl looks up and sees that her door's fucking open. So she's like, oh, hell, who the hell's in my house? She gets up, she goes and investigate. And this goddamn Chuck and somebody else hanging out in there. And she's just like, Chuck, what the fuck you doing in here? And Chuck's, you know, I don't know what Chuck's doing in there. I guess they were trying to rob the place or some bullshit. But Chuck's an idiot. Chuck's a fucking idiot. But they decided to leave until she goes threaten to call the police. So she gets Alexa, I guess, to call the police. And Alexa's like, yes, we'll call 911. But unfortunately, they unplugged Alexa, so 911 couldn't be called. And unfortunately, okay, the best way I can put this is pre-rape feelings. He gives me pre-rape feelings because he beats the shit out of her, and he's just like, oh, no, you can go, man. I'm going to have a little fun. Pre-rape feelings all the way around. But she puts up a hell of a good fight. I'm not gonna lie. She ends up like kicking him in the nuts and shit, and running the fuck off down, I think her basement or something, or the garage. No, the garage. Runs to the garage, and while she's hiding in the garage, of course, Chuck's being the typical fucking asshole. Just, now you come on out. Now there's nowhere for you to run. I can make this easy. I can make this fast, or I can make this slow and painful. Talking that big game. And straight up, she shoots him in the foot with a fucking nail gun, like multiple times. I don't mean just like 1, 2, I mean like 4, 5, 6 shots into his fucking foot. She runs off and little pansy ass, just, God, my foot, and he hobbles out and he's got to take each one out. And throughout the story, now this is the first time we've seen this happen. Like, I don't know why they didn't do this for the rest of the movie, but for this point on in this movie, we keep cutting back to Chilly Billy adding to the story, He screamed out, "Run, bitch, run!" So she ran, doing shit like that, like he's telling the story. But, while she's running and shit, she tries to get an axe that was in a tree, and it doesn't work. She ends up losing on that. And they end up crawling to a playset. And right before he's about to attack her, he goes to move the swings, and of course we hear the demon clown's weird noises or whatever. And straight up, just the chain wraps around his neck. Like, we don't get to see it, but we hear it happen. But it wraps around his neck. He starts choking out because I didn't even know how that fucking happened, but it fucking happened. But he's like getting choked down. She grabs onto his waist and starts pulling him down to kind of like choke him out even more and basically hang his ass. And it ends up working, but in the midst of the struggle, she ends up getting punched in the face. And she, gets knocked out, falls to the ground, and we hear like the snapping of his neck, and then gets quiet. And then we hear the horrible, gruesome sounds of someone being chopped the fuck up. Like, we hear it's like, that weird fucking noise and shit. Just chopped the fuck up, and as we see blood just spewing out of the fucking, just spewing on shit, just left and right, just spewing. We see bits and pieces of Chuck's body all over this playground. Like, his head's, I think, on top of the slide with something in his mouth, his legs thrown off, his arms thrown off. Like, he's just fucking everywhere. It looks like chaotic and shit. And then her boyfriend shows up, and she's like, and he's just like, "Oh my God, baby?" And then we cut back to Chilly Billy, who is having a drink with Paul, and they're celebrating. It's been a good year, man. It's a great fucking year. He tells him Chilly Billy tells Paul to eat before midnight, because you remember what happened last year. Paul replies with, let me die by choking on my own spit first. I swear that's not what Paul said back to Chilly Billy. Chilly Billy tells him to eat before midnight because you remember what happened last year, and Paul replies with, "Okay, boomer." And it's like, what the fuck ever. And then they proceed, to give a free promo code for driving the Uber for, everybody at the end of the night and shit. So now we're on to the best story. This is my favorite story of all of it. This is my favorite story out of all of them because this was just so much fun. This was just so much fun, and this actor gives 110%, and I love him. I love him so. So we're back with the guy who's dressed like Count Dracula, and he's driving around. It looks like he's an Uber driver, and he picks up this jackass. And I mean this in a very light tone, but he deserves what he gets. And granted, it ain't much. It ain't fucking much, but fuck this asshole, right? They're driving. He's trying to make small talk, and he's just like, "Hey, listen, you coming back from a party or something?" "No. Why? Why would I be coming back from a party?" "Well, it's, Halloween and all that." Like anyone actually fucking celebrates that. And he goes on this long tirade about how much he hates Halloween and how it's stupid and it's for the tween people who have nothing else better to do and to help the weird motherfuckers just give out free candy to kids. So eventually, Vampire 2 goes, "Okay, you know what, man? Get the fuck out of my vehicle. Just get the fuck out." Because the dude even lights a cigarette up. And straight up, just like, "All right, fine, I'll get out," but you get him 1 star, and he's just like, "Whatever, happy fucking Halloween, jackass," and drives the hell off. So then we're back with the hookers, and they're out front, and I shit you not, this is their conversation. They're talking about having sex with multiple partners, and about, how much fun they have and all this shit, and one girl talks about having sex with a clown. She's like, "I don't know what's weird when having sex with a clown. The fact that he comes with flowers all over me." What do you mean comes with flowers all over you? Like, does it come out of his dick or something? It comes everywhere, and it's so hard to get off. And all I could think about when she's talking about clown sex is, y'all remember that episode of Family Guy where Quagmire choked himself out the clown porn? That's the only thing that keeps popping in my head anytime I see that woman talking about fucking clown, having sex with a clown. But yeah, she's talking about fucking a clown and shit. And this is another weird one. This is another like weird, like, what the hell's going on? But throughout the movie, when we first see the vampire dude, we hear something in the back of his trunk, like a muffle sound. So it almost sounds like he's got someone back there. So he goes back there after pulling up to this convenience store, and he opens it up, and there's a hand back there that's covered in blood, and it gives him the middle finger and then disappears. And we never see it again. I don't know if that's supposed to be somebody else, if that's one of the other guys. Like, I don't know. It's like the guy in the beginning who got hit by the car. We don't get much context to it. We just know there's a hand back there. It could be a cut section of the movie, for all I know. I don't know. I don't even know if there's any cut sections. But yeah. There's a hand back there, flips him off, and he goes to pick up one of the hookers, and of course they're making fun of him, of being dressed like Dracula and shit. And this hooker, though, she said it right, though. As they find out he's the Uber driver and he comes to pick up one of the hookers and they're driving off, one of the hookers yell out at her, "You gonna die, bitch!" and then waves at her. Like, man, what is she, psychic or something? A fucking fortune teller? Like, she knows, man. She knows. So while they're driving to their destination and whatnot, he's trying to have a small talk, and she's being a fucking bitch to him this entire time, just not feeling the conversation, you know, "Oh, I'm not going to give you free handouts," you know, shit like, bitch, you a prostitute. No one wants some of that nasty-ass pussy. Nobody wants it, man. Quit flattering yourself. But she proceeds to be like, "Well, do you want to meet my pimp? You want to meet my pimp?" He's like, "Yeah, I'd like to meet your pimp." And she's like, "Bet, alright, he might fuck you up, but you can meet my pimp." So they go and they meet her pimp. And of course he walks up there and the pimp's just like, "Oh, you here to get your dick sucked or to suck my dick? I think you're here to suck my dick." And he goes to get up. And this boy, this man, actually I can't even call him a boy, this man, this is a real man right here because this is the most manliest gun I've ever seen. But this man dramatically flings off his cape like he's in a fucking Star Wars Episode 1 moment. Flings off his cape and flings it back, and he pulls up his cane that he's been walking around with and proceeds to shoot them. The cane is a gun, man. The cane is a fucking gun, and it is badass. I'm not gonna lie. He shoots them, though, and as he gets a shot in, his buddy that he was on the FaceTime phone call with comes running out of nowhere, and he's just like, "Oh my god, man, have I missed it?" And then they proceed to fucking fight. Like, all of them proceed to fight. And as they're duking it out, the dude goes to kick one of them in the nuts, and nothing happens. And you're like, what? And takes off the mask, and there's a woman. It's a fucking woman. So he's like dodging her hits all of a sudden. And his buddy comes out of nowhere and fucking punches her in the back of the head. And he's just like, "Why didn't you hit her? Why didn't you hit her? She's a woman, man. What were you, sexist? Equal opportunity, my dude." And punches her in the face. Like, straight up, I love that, because he's being nonchalant about this entire conversation, by the way. Nonchalant the entire fucking time. He's just like, "Oh, what are you, sexist? Equal opportunity, man." And punches her without missing a beat. It is the greatest thing in the world. Just straight up punches her. And then proceeds to chastise him. Just like, "Man, this is why you can't take care of yourself. This is why you never get anything done. You know, you always get me to come back you up." And while he's having this conversation, this other guy comes running at him, and without missing a beat, he just grabs his gun, pulls it out, and shoots the man. And he's still yelling at his buddy, by the way. He's still yelling. And he's just like, "Dude, you had a fucking gun this whole time?" Yeah? And you didn't use it? Yeah, you know I don't like guns. That's why I only carry one round. Just without missing a beat, that shit's just like, y'all get a chance, just look this movie up just for this story, just for this one, because this actor right here, this fine individual of a man, just on point with his comedy. On fucking point with his comedy, not missing a beat, not missing a moment, just boom. You had a gun? Yeah. Why didn't you use it? Well, you know I don't like guns. That's why I only bring one around. Now, what are we going to do about her? Just like, that is just fucking great. Like, chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. I love actors like this. Like, you could tell he had fun the entire time he was playing this character. But they walk up to the girl. She's like, oh, my God, who are you? And he's just like, oh, well, whose dick am I sucking now? And then knocks her ass out. So they proceed to get everyone together, because at certain points throughout this story we see them. I think it's the vampire guy. He's looking at a picture of him and his buddies all in war together. Apparently they were in the Iraq War together, and they're all dressed up. We see him in his Dracula outfit. His buddy that saved him during the fight, he's wearing werewolf, and another guy shows up. He's Frankenstein, and their other buddy Lenny is a mummy. But the vampire guy and my favorite guy, the werewolf dude, they're sitting there chit-chatting and shit. And they're talking about the crappy fucking beer they buy. He's just like, why do you buy this shit? Every year it's the same shit you buy for us after high school, man. Like, every fucking year with you. Why don't you buy some good shit? Then their Frankenstein buddy walks up and he's just like, hey, man, where's Lenny? Oh, man, Lenny wasn't feeling too good, man. He was not feeling so good. So I was telling him to go take a nap. And I gave him a Valium. Wait. You roofie Lenny? Yeah. Anyway, guys, so let me tell y'all something about the ice glaciers, and that they actually did some scientific discovery and discovered there's actual fecal matter in the ice. That's just crazy, man. That's some sick shit. That's some fucked up shit. Man, have you ever heard some fucked up shit? Yeah. Like, you roofie Lenny. Like, I love that scene. I fucking love that part. He just changes the subject, acting like nothing's wrong. And we keep going on with this joke for a few more minutes. And when they get done making that reference, oh yeah, you roofie Lenny, and the dude's like, hey, I'll go get him, okay? Let me go get him. And he walks off to go pick up Lenny. And the dude's still going on. He's like, I still just gotta stretch this, man. You roofied Lenny. And finally, we get to see the man himself. Fucking Lenny comes down. He's just like, yeah, he won't be fine, man. He won't be fine. You just see Lenny just, oh man, I don't feel so good. Yeah, that's because he drugged you. Like, that entire scene of just, well, you roofie Lenny, it's just fucking funny. And also, it brings a special place in my heart because I watched this movie with my boyfriend. And this was also the story he fucking loved. So for weeks after, we would be telling a story, and one of us would interrupt and be like, yeah, that's great and all that, but I still just can't wrap my head around this. You fucking roofie Lenny? Like, it was like a running joke for us, and we still do it from time to time. Not as much as we did when we first watched the movie, but we still have fun with that joke. But we see Lenny, and he's not feeling too good. He's all like, oh my God, like he's like fucking some agonizing pain. We see him go into the woods, and he's like slamming up against a tree and shit. But we cut back to everybody, and they're getting ready to do something in these fields. And we hear people kind of like a muffled crying sound. We're like, what the fuck's going on? And he removes his tarp, and there's all the pimps and shit, all the bullshit we've seen back during the fight shit. We see all these guys and a couple other people just gagged and tied up. And he is giving this amazing speech about how they're here because they don't care about their actions, that they don't care who they hurt. They're just going to do what they want as they want. He's just like, I did not go to the Iraq War to come back and let y'all tear up my country. To Typical American right there. Full fucking American. I did not go to Afghanistan to lose one of my legs. But you have both your legs. You didn't hear me. I said I did not go to Afghanistan to lose two of my legs. Well, those moments. But he's going on about this whole situation, why he's covering them all in blood. And he's just basically like, some of y'all will get redemption today, others not so much. But all I gotta, say is, run, rabbits, run. And while he's covering them in blood, at the same time, like I said, we're going to Lenny, and we see Lenny transform into a bat demon creature. And I say bat demon creature because it looks like a demon, but a bat at the same time. It's fucking badass. It's actually one of the cooler practical effects, or practical costumes, I should say, that we see. It's really badass. It's got this really cool, wing thing going on. It's really badass. But one of the things I forgot to mention while he's talking about redemption, my favorite guy goes, "Redemption, yay!" and proceeds to start clapping like a fucking dork. I'm not even joking. He's just like, "Oh my god, redemption, yay!" bro, 110. But they put pumpkins over their heads and proceeds to cover them all in blood and tells them good luck, rabbits, and then lets them flee off into this field. About not losing a leg. Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about the three main guys in this particular story. They are from the Iraq War, and they didn't come back. One of them didn't come back right, and he's got a case of, bat demon creature syndrome, I guess. I don't even know how to describe this creature. But I was making a joke reference to the 70s show about the I didn't go to Iraq to lose a leg. But you have both your legs. Like I said, I did not go to Iraq to go lose some legs. I can't remember the full joke. Bidwell could tell me about it better. But they proceed to let these guys run. And they're fucking if I may add this little tidbit as well, they're all in their underwear. They're all in their underwear with pumpkins over their heads, tied up, fleeing into this field. While these three drunk guys are throwing spears at them, we see Lenny's demon bat creature form finally come out of nowhere, and he's swiping down left and right, and blood's going everywhere. We get these weird camera shots of inside the pumpkins that we're looking at them, and they're panicking, they're screaming and shit. And it's actually not bad effects, I'm not gonna lie. They got some good, cheap B-rated effects going on here with a lot of the prosthetic limbs squirting blood and shit, especially when the spears hit them. There's this one guy giving this all slumped over with the spear in him, looking great as hell. And eventually, once they get done, doing, I guess, the hunt. I don't even know what they call this. It's something they do every year, it seems like. Every fucking year, because they talk about it. But they're having a good time. And like I said, with Chili, we keep coming back to Chili Billy telling the story. So Chili Billy, it's like, can you imagine them just all three standing there going, "Lenny, Lenny, Lenny"? I'm just like, no, I feel like that's them all the fucking way. Just go Lenny, just wreck them. But Lenny ends up killing anybody that's left and ends up eating them and shit. And I shit you not, he gets done. He's standing in the middle of this field and he's roaring and shit, just all excited. And we hear one of this guy go, hey Lenny, when you get done, man, we got some beers, but take your time though, you're good. And then their fucking buddy, he's got one of those other spears. He goes to throw it, and he throws it into the power outage. And again, just like the conversation earlier, so anyone feel like going to Vegas and going to the casino or something? Dude, did you really just do that? But that takes us to the last story of the whole movie, which is with Chili Billy. So because they fucking threw the spear at the the power thing, and now we have rapid power outages going out. Chili Billy keeps losing his connection to his radio station. It keeps coming back. And while they get everything situated after that first power outage, they get a phone call, and they're just like, all right, guys, we got time for one more scary story. And Paul picks up the phone, and he's just like, hey, we got your biggest fan here. Should I put her through? And he's like, yeah, put her through. And he's like, all right, man, what is the story I could tell you? And she goes, I want to hear the story about the house on the hill where the ghost hunters came to town. So Chili Billy proceeds to tell the story. Now, this was a little weird. Mainly from the time frame, because not only are we, watching this ghost hunters go into this house, but we're seeing what the ghost hunter Judy is seeing as Billy's telling the story. Like, it's really weird, so I'll do my best to describe it. But we cut to the ghost hunters. They're going up to this creepy house, and while they're going up there, their van gets stuck, so we end up splitting off. We got a group of two. It's some blonde chick and a black guy, and then a group of three, who is Judy, I guess her camera guy, and the director. They all go towards the house. The couple ends up staying behind, trying to get the truck unstuck. But while they're up there, Judy starts sensing something's going on. She's having a vision, or like a psychic vision, of what really happened in this house as she's telling the story. And the story is a deranged teenager broke into the house and set it on fire. And he ended up dying inside, and the boys who were with him ended up fleeing. That's the story she got told. Now, what she ends up seeing is the little boy named Jacob was basically pressured into going into this house because because he got told, hey, if you want to hang out with us and come trick-or-treating with us and shit, you're going to go in that creepy house and go grab one of those comic books downstairs. Yeah. And, typical bullying shit. So he ends up going into the house, and while he's in the house, it's like the timeline between them has been crossed. She senses him as he senses her, if that makes any sense when it comes to ghost paranormal stuff. But while Chili Billy is talking about this, we cut back to him going, and she wanted to go into the basement, even though she knew that no one wanted to go in the basement, even though she knew that, the ghost was going to be down there, she had to go down. You can cut back to Paul, and Paul's sweating like a motherfucker. Like, Paul is, worried as hell about something. Never trust someone named Jacob. Actually, you can't trust this guy named Jacob. He's actually a very sweet boy who got fucked over at the end. But like I said, Paul is sweating his ass off like he is worried about something. We end up losing power again, so we get the story cut off for a second. And of course, the guys panic. They get up. They're trying to adjust all the shit. They get the power back on again, and the phone starts ringing. So Paul picks up the phone, and it's an angry woman on the phone going, you're telling the story wrong. You're not doing it justice. Why are you lying? Just going ham. And he's just like, listen, man, we already told the story. If you don't like it, try it again next year, and hung up on her. So Billy continues the story. And again, we see that why she's going down to the basement following Jacob's spirits. Jacob was going down there to go get the comic books, and while he's down there getting the comic books, he hears Judy's voice saying, it's okay, we're friendly, just talk to us, basically scaring him to the point that he ends up dropping the lighter that he's holding to see in the dark, and he ends up setting the comic books in the house on fire by accident. And we get a good, nice shot on the lighter, and the lighter says Paul on it. Sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it? So while he's panicking and runs upstairs, Judy runs upstairs too. And she starts banging on the door with the boy and trying to get out. And while he's trying to get out, and his story, the two bullies that tricked him inside are holding the doors closed, going, oh, what's the matter? You can't handle a little darkness, a little spookiness. Oh, come on, man. It ain't no big deal. Basically, dooming the boy to die in the house because they're fucking assholes. And she is trying to save the boy's life. She could save the boy. She keeps saying she could save this boy, but unfortunately it's too late. The boy's already passed, but this is what she's seeing. So then we go back to Chili Billy talking about the story, and Paul is the boy. That is what we find out in this section. Paul is the boy in the story who locked Jacob in the house. He is that Paul on the lighter. Egads, what a twist. Who didn't see that one coming? Because I sure as fuck didn't that first time, because I didn't pay attention to the lighter that said Paul on it. So when Paul was just, oh shit, this story's about me, that one blew my mind, I'm not gonna lie. But why he's having like his little moment, he hears something going on in the background, so he stands up and he's like, you're not gonna scare me, whatever you want. He starts opening doors. So Billy's by himself in the studio telling the story. The phone rings again. Eventually, Chili Billy gets annoyed and he picks up the phone and he's like, yes, persistent caller, what can I do you for? And she's just like, you're telling the story wrong. And he's like, well, I have first-hand knowledge, I have first-hand information about this from my source. She's like, well, my source is better than your source. We're getting into a bigger dick competition about whose source is better. But at the same time that's happening, we go back to the Ghost Adventure story, and we get to see what happens there. But the couple ends up coming back after finally getting the fucking truck and shit taken care of. And there was a camera that got set out before the trio went into the house. And while they're looking at it, they basically see that the house is on fire. Even though you're looking at it, the house ain't on fire, but they see that the house is on fire, so they go, oh, that ain't good. We gotta get them out of there. So they run up and they bust open the door trying to get him out. And Judy, at the same time, trying to help the little boy out. And he goes to go upstairs and she grabs him by the leg and she's just like, no, stay down here. I can get you out. I can get you out. And she's holding on to this boy as they're pulling her out. And she's screaming, I can save him. I can save him. Please let me save him. And they get her out the house, and she's holding this recorder in her hand, shaking, just repeatedly saying, I can save him, I can save him. We cut back to Chili Billy, and the woman says, my mother died knowing the truth about this boy, and he will get his revenge on what actually happened. He will take his revenge on who did this to him, and it will happen tonight. And she hangs up the phone. Now, during this whole, the reason I'm going to explain this now is because this is all cut together at the same time that Paul's being attacked. So during the story, we have moments of Paul in the bag, checking because he hears some fuck shit, and he opens one of the doors, and there's the Jack in the Box toy that we saw from the old man's story, and it's open in this closet with Trick or Treat Paul written in blood all over the wall. And of course, Paul's freaking out. Paul goes to another room and he flips open his lighter. And when you know, Demon Clown comes out of fucking nowhere, scares Paul into dropping his fucking lighter and setting the place ablaze. So while Paul's sitting there basically being confronted by his own fucking demons, Billy is trying to help him out and he can't get to him, so he ends up having to walk out, or basically cough out, because by the time he gets outside, he's, doing that shit, which I don't blame him. But Paul ends up burning inside the radio station, because he deserves it. This whole thing's about justice. The whole point of this movie is about justice, and I'll get there near the end. But Billy ends up coming out, and while he's out there catching his breath, we see Demon Clown again coming at him. And I was just like, oh my God, please don't do this to Billy. Please don't do this to Corey Taylor, man. Don't do this to him. Like, he's too good to be killed like this. And as the Demon Clown is going to him, we cut back to the little girl from the first story with the drawing of the clown, and we see her take the page and then rip it in half. And as soon as she does that, the Demon Clown disappears. My boy Corey Taylor's all right. He made it through the night, guys. He made it through the night. But after all that shenanigans and stuff, and again, Paul got what he got. Paul just got what he got. But when we get done with that, we hear the wolves howling, and we cut through basically kind of some of what's ending for the rest of the night. We cut to see, like I said, a little girl with the clown drawing. We cut to her going to the treehouse. I guess she went trick-or-treating and shit. We cut to the bat demon creature who is holding on to a pumpkin, and out of nowhere, a little boy dressed in a little hazmat suit with blood and shit all over it walks up to him, takes his mask off, and hands him a candy bar. Just hands him, like, it looks like a Baby Ruth or something. But the demon takes it and he flies off. No big deal. But we hear this voiceover at the end of the movie as the radio station's burning and shit. It says, "A small bit of justice for the world, a small bit of justice in the world for those who have been wronged. Some make their own justice." But basically, the overarching narrative is justice. You know, think about it. The first story was about the abusive drunk dad who not only killed the guy in the opening. Again, I will not let anyone live that one down. He killed a man in the opening and nobody cared. Okay? Nobody cared. He killed a man in the opening. He was abusive to his daughter. He got the justice. He got the death he deserved, which was good justice. I don't know what the girl in the morgue did. I guess having sex with a dead corpse? Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, she got her justice. The drug dealer, I don't know what he did. He seemed like a nice guy, too. I'm not going to lie. Like, there was no douchebaggery about him. Like, the dude was just a drug dealer. That was it. But apparently he got his justice. I will say the old man who was spiking the candy with the razor blade, I liked his justice. He got a good one. The fucking rapist, oh God, whatever the fuck his name was, the Chunky Chucky, whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, him, he got his justice, too. He deserved that, and the other guy deserved that. But I don't know what drug dude and lady fuck the body did. I don't know what they did, but seriously, I don't know what they did, but they got their justice. But this whole point of the movie is justice, you know. End it all for a good cause, basically. End it all for a good cause. Justice for a good cause. Even if it's bloody, even if it's gory. But as she's going over, you know, the whole justice speech and spiel and shit, we cut to the girl who is fucking the corpses. We're with her in the freezer, and she's just sitting there. So I don't know if she has frozen to death or if she's just so shot out from the drugs. She's just sitting there in the freezer waiting to freeze to death. We got the SWAT girl that was almost raped by what's his fucking face. She's being questioned by the police, you know, with, you know, a towel over her, so she ain't a suspect, but they're making sure she's okay, and she's shaking like a leaf. Funny enough, one of the guys during the bat demon creature hunt thing, yeah, he's alive, and we get to see a good portion of him for a minute. But he's running down the street, still tied up with a pumpkin on his head in his underwear, just screaming as he's running down the road. And of course, we cut to the guys all hanging out. They want to go to Waffle House and they're asking Lenny if he's okay. And they're like, Lenny, you know how you get after you eat white folks, okay? Like, you be alright. You just get a little tired. It'll be alright. And it ends up wrapping up with, just remember, guys, just one thing. We are not alone in this world. And then we cut the credits, and as the credits are rolling, we cut back to Pumpkin Guy and the hookers. So the hookers are sitting there, they're chit-chatting, talking about their day and shit, and they see Guy running through, just screaming his ass off, and like, girl, white people are fucking crazy, you know that? Oh, hell yeah, girlfriend, like, white people are fucking loopy, especially this time of night. And this dude just straight up just wants to call the police. He gets to this phone booth and he's trying so fucking hard, but he can't get in this goddamn phone booth. He eventually gets in and he tries to call the police and it does not work. Dude's fumbling with the phone. He's screaming at it, just like, fuck, I need help. Just fuck. Eventually he gives the fuck up, walks off. We see the two hookers again and they're just like, man, this is getting a little too weird tonight. Yeah, you wanna go home and cuddle and watch some movies? Yeah, let's go cuddle and watch some movies. And they walk off, and that's it. We end the note on two hookers gonna go cuddle and watch a movie. Oh my god. This movie, guys, I have to say, Bad Candy, it's a fun movie. I wish Amazon didn't take it off. I don't know why they took it off, but if y'all want to check it out on Tubi. It's a fun horror movie. It ain't the greatest horror movie ever. It's just a fun B-rated slop. It is. It's got some fine acting, some good lighting in it, some fun practical effects. Some of the stories are about hit or miss. It just depends on what you're in the mood for, because like I said, like with the drug dealer guy, oh, something I forgot to mention about the devil mask. So, I know I said I was going to mention it. So, we do get to see the devil mask again. After the druggie dies in the bathroom. One of the guys that's hanging out with Lenny, he's the devil guy. I don't know which one, but we see the mask in the back of the car when they're grabbing beer. So, one of them is the devil guy. So, I thought that was a fun little twist. Again, everybody's kind of tied into the story together somehow. But yeah, no, guys, this is just a fun movie. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a real treat movie. Especially if you just want to see Corey Taylor have a good time, do it. I wish, again, I knew the name of the actor who played the dude I like. I don't know if it's, because there was 2 guys in the casting list that I could not figure out who they belonged to. He's either Kevin Wayne, who plays Greg, or Drake Russo, who plays Vince. He's one of them 2 guys. I'm hoping, or I'm assuming. But yes, just to watch him, his fine-ass 110% acting, yeah, that guy, just watch him for that one story. It's great. He's amazing. He's a fantastic actor. I don't even know if he's acting in anything else, but from what I saw, I would be willing to watch it. The man really gives it his all. But it's again, guys, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's a fun little movie. But I do believe this would probably be a good time to go ahead and end this podcast here. So I hope everybody who has watched is watching will watch. I hope you enjoy. I hope everybody has a fantastic and a wonderful night. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, wherever, please give this video a like, subscribe, and a follow, because you never know what fuck shit's gonna happen. Trust me, I never fucking know. Again, guys, so I was a little late. The movie, again, it's 2 hours long. I didn't realize it was 2 hours long. I thought it was only like an hour and 20 minutes, but nope, I misjudged that yet again. I've done that before, so you gotta forgive me, guys. But next week, I'm not sure what movie. I had to basically throw a dart on my board and see what it hits, because we got a fine listing of movies and TV shows to get through. We got many more adding, especially now that Amazon, I think, has added a couple of more horror movies. I want to say they added Spiral just recently. I think it was Amazon. No, it was Hulu. Hulu just added Spiral recently, and that's a fun movie. I like that one, and, you know, I do want to talk about the Saw movies. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I do want to talk about it and explain, you know, why I personally like it, and why I was into the movies and shit, and basically the whole phenomenon behind, you know, what Saw was to me. But, you know, I'll have to mold it over, and we'll figure it out when we figure it out. But that's a story for another day. So until then, my friends, y'all take care.